But the point I was making in these 2 days is, let's realize what life is all about. Here we are, a soul, part of the Creator. The Creator is expressing Himself. I'd say Himself, but it could be Himself, herself, itself, doesn't matter. The Creator is expressing Himself as a soul. Creator is not separating Himself from the soul. The Creator is expressing Himself as a soul. A soul is a point of view of the Creator, not separate from the Creator. A soul is a way to have experience of seeing something from a different point of view. And that soul, so created, residing continuously within the Creator, never separating, undergoes experiences by shutting off the awareness of the Creator, creating its own awareness as a unit of consciousness, and given the full freedom to create whatever consciousness can create, which means unlimited, infinite. In that situation, the soul creates the experience of the many. One soul now says, we are many. Where are the many? Within the one. Because nobody is left anywhere. They are all part of the one. One soul creating an experience of the many. Whose experience is it? Of the one. The experience of the many is not of many. One is experiencing many. Many are the creation of the one. If you understand this concept, that you can be conscious of many while you're still one. Easiest way to explain is, if you go to sleep and have a dream, in the dream you see 100 people. There are 100 people. They are all separate. They are different. They talk differently, think differently, and are replicas of the many here. And we say there are many people in the dream. Then you wake up. Were they all dreaming, or one was dreaming? Only one was dreaming. They were the creations of one dreamer. One dreamer created the many. And while he shut off the experience of the Creator, the many became real. The same situation happened in our true home, where we belong, where there's immortality, where nothing, no karma exists, no mind exists, no thinking exists, only we exist as one. That one totality of consciousness, the creative power, emerges as one soul, the primordial soul. And the primordial soul experiences the many. And the primordial soul undertakes an experience outside of itself in time and space by attaching itself to a mind. It creates a mind for experience. The mind immediately creates time and space and puts events which occur simultaneously in no time, puts them over a timeline and a space line, and puts them events. They'll take place here and there, now and then. And all those events are placed at once. Infinite number of events. And the one creates the many, divides those events to the many, and puts that power of experiencing those as if they belong to all of them, like we do in a dream. We argue with a person in a dream. We have separated ourselves from the person we are arguing. When we wake up, there was no person we were arguing with. We created that person and the argument. The one creates the reality of the many and thereby shares that consciousness as if with many. And the many then keep on going on with their mind, which is also one. They divide, participate in one mind. One consciousness, one mind, shared by so many, created by that power of consciousness. Then the game goes on. It's a wonderful experience in time and space. And the soul, using the mind, looks over all the events created, looks back into the past. It's an infinite past. One can look as far as one can go. How far is infinity? Infinity is also not infinite, it's finite. You know what defines the finiteness of infinity? What is defined is how far can you go? If you want to go more, you can go more. But since in time you can't go forever, therefore wherever, how far you go is infinite. You can go more, it will be infinite. But because the power that we have invested in ourselves is bound by time and space at that level. So the infinity becomes finite. And we can go as far, keep on expanding our memory, expanding our space, expanding time and space, and looking at more events that are all created there. Then we go further. To experience those, we divide the experience of those events into several forms. Those experiences we can pick up straight away, grasp with our mind. But we divide it further for variety, for greater experience, and we divide them into different perceptions. Seeing becomes separate from hearing. Before that, we could hear a vision and we could see music. There was no distinction between any of the senses. They all work together. Now we divide them. So the sense perceptions divide our experience. And we are very happy. That's great. We still have the opportunity to look. Hold, this is a great experience. Hold it and we can look at it. With the mind, we could look at all the events. We could go back and forth on time. But when we put on the sense perceptions on ourselves to have greater variety of experience and divided them into separate perceptions, we also did not allow this to become just a series of events placed one time. We allowed time to flow. And we began to see as if events are coming and going, and they are all coming and going. But we could stop an event wherever we liked to see it. It was still within our power. In order to advance further into a different kind of reality, we created a human body and placed this whole complex of our own totality, of our own individuation as a soul, our own use of a mind, our own use of sense perceptions, this whole package got fitted into a human body. And we all are one, created by the many, and we are still one. Who is that one? Amongst us, who is that one? That's a difficult question, because we look at so many, but then we look at so many in the dream also. When you see yourself and others in the dream, who is the one? The only one who is the real one in a dream is the one who is dreaming. The one who says, I can see other people. Other people say in the dream, I am also seeing you, so I am also as real as you. When do we find out that that one was real, the others were created by the dream? When that one who is dreaming wakes up. When he wakes up, he finds he created all the others. We are in the same state. Each one of us believes that we are all equally real. But when you wake up, you'll find out who was real. And you'll find only one was real. All of us were part of that one. First wakefulness will show you that. If you keep on waking up, which means keep on getting unaware of these covers that you got on yourself, and you reach the top, you'll find you're only one. It was one all the time, not at one time. Not that the Creator was one and we are many. We created the experience of the many, still being within the one. We never left the one. We never left our totality. And therefore, this is a secret of creation. Very few people have expressed it. Very few people know about it. Very few people know how to reverse this process and go back to the one and hold all this experience together and jump from one experience to other when you like. Imagine what an interesting journey it would be. A journey from one level of consciousness to another. There can be no journey that you can describe or imagine greater than the beauty of this journey from one level of consciousness to another. So that's why these are the kind of journeys which are truly opened up to us when we go to a perfect living master. Not a small thing, just getting enlightened. What is getting enlightened? A person who wakes up gets enlightened. A person who wakes up one step more gets more enlightened. A person who knows in a dream, I'm a dreamer, this is a dream, is enlightened. He's telling other people in the dream, I know it's a dream, he's enlightened. Not actually enlightened, because if he was really enlightened, he would not tell anybody. When he wakes up, he doesn't tell anybody. He doesn't go back into a dream.